Hey guys, and welcome back to another video with me, Brooklyn. So I'm sitting outside the Grand Theater here in my town. I am working today, so I'm taking a couple of people to the movie theater. I'm just waiting for them to arrive, okay? So I was just sitting here thinking about the holiday. I'm off from my first job, okay, because of Martin Luther King's holiday, and I'm working my part-time job. So we're going to the movies. So I'm waiting for the group to arrive. So anyway, I was just sitting here thinking about, the ultimate sacrifice. Over 2,000 years ago, Jesus died, and he did an ultimate sacrifice, right? He gave his life so that future generations could be where they are today, right? And I was thinking about Martin Luther King. He died fighting the good fight of faith. Lots of times people would be flogged, killed, because they are fighting for something that they stand on, that they believe in. And that's what we have to do today. We have to persevere. We have to fight and keep fighting. And sometimes it may end in a way that you don't want it to end in, your family don't want it to end in, but you have to persevere. A lot of people have given up the ghost for future generations to be able to accomplish things that they were not able to accomplish. And we have to be grateful. They made this holiday. A lot of people fought against this holiday, right? Martin Luther King holiday. But we have to take this opportunity just to reflect, not only on Martin Luther King, but to reflect on things, other people as well, that starting with Jesus and just other humanitarians that fought for us to be where we are today, to be able to go inside the front door of the movie theater, to be able to go into the front door of stores to purchase things that you need. You don't have to go through the back door and they take your money and then tell you can't come through the front door. We're going into this movie theater and we can sit wherever we want to sit. We could purchase popcorn and refreshments like everyone else. We don't have to get to the back of the line. We are able to, I just left the Walmart picking up some items before I came to here to meet everybody. And we can walk into the front door, get in line. They can't push you to the back and skip in front of you. So we have to take this day to reflect on how far we have come. A lot of people don't want to recognize Jesus Christ, that he sacrificed himself so that future generations will be able to take part in the kingdom. People don't want to accept that. That's okay. You don't have to accept it. Everybody got the right to accept what they want to accept. You may not want to call him Jesus. You may want to call him Yahweh, Emmanuel, whatever name you want to call him. At the end of the day, he sacrificed for future generations to be where we are today. No one has to be in a bad situation because people fought for you to be able to be where you want to be. The ultimate decision comes from us, where we want to be in life, what we want to do in life. The ultimate decision on our lives is in our hands, if that's making any sense. I'm in the car. So I was just thinking about that, sitting here while I was waiting. I was like, they're having parades today and they're having breakfast, Martin Luther King breakfasts, but it's just not about getting together. You need to reflect. Don't just reflect today and then tomorrow, Tuesday, come around and you ain't reflecting. You ain't remember nothing that you did today on Monday, January 15th. A lot of people just get up. They don't retain information. They just get up. They go with the program to, we're going to go to a parade. We're going to go have a breakfast of Martin Luther King in his honor. But you're not really honoring anyone if you're not going to carry it out the rest of your life. What they stood on, what they stood for. Taking advantage of the opportunities that they afforded us. Not only him, but you had Rosa Parks, you had Malcolm X, you had just different people who stood on business and handled it. And it cost a lot of people their lives. fighting for us to be able to go through the front door, to be able to go to expensive restaurants. Now they are still trying to pull that race card where they don't want you to come in the store and want to kick you out. But at the end of the day, we have been afforded a lot of opportunities because people laid down their life. You know, they fought and they just fought and fought and fought till they did not get to experience it. But they left an inheritance for their children's children's children. This is an inheritance to be able to have freedom. We may not always feel like we are free, and we may sometimes feel like we are still in bondage, but we can still do things that they were not able to do. They were not allowed to do. So we have to reflect on that every day, not just today, not just Christmas, not just Easter. You know what I'm saying? People recognize those days once a year and they don't live it no more for the rest of the time. And that's not good. You need to retain information, retain knowledge, get some understanding. And these people lived it every day. They didn't just fight one day. We will celebrate it one day and we won't do nothing else the whole year. We won't even talk about it unless we're wronged. And then it's like, I'm free. I got the right to do this. I got the right to do that. But you need to practice that belief every day. Every day. You know, remember that these people, what the holiday is for. It's not just to have breakfast, some scrambled eggs and some bacon. It's to really reflect, to teach your children so they can teach their children. This is an inheritance. Inheritance is not always money and property and land. The best inheritance you can leave somebody is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's the best inheritance you can leave somebody, so they can take care of themselves and know how to maneuver in this life without having to have somebody lead them. They start off leading, then they drop off, and then you are supposed to pick up the torch and be able to teach it, retain the information. We went to school, we learned these things. We know some things, we retain that information, but it's tradition. You know what Martin Luther King did. You know what he did and what he stood for. But when you retain knowledge, you are a doer of that knowledge. You are not just retaining it. Oh, I know Martin Luther King. You know, he fought for civil rights. He fought for black and white together. We shall overcome someday. I dreamed of a mountaintop. We know that. That's tradition. Retaining knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is to be a doer of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It's to be a doer. It's to always know what the person did that left the heritage for you, the inheritance for you. What they did, what they stand on, and then you need to stand on it too. And you need to believe it too. Because people are still trying to take that, your birthright from you. People are still trying to take birthrights from people as like right now, today. I'm sure all over this country, people that are celebrating this holiday, I'm sure there are some resistance. It's resistance. It's always going to be resistance when you are trying to stand up and do what's right. It's always going to be resistance. It never fails. But you have to keep persevering, keep pushing on, keep pushing forward, keep doing what you are supposed to do. Don't let nobody stop you and tell you can't go through their front door. Then don't patronize them. There's some people still trying to practice that. Don't patronize them. Don't go through the back door. Turn around. Find someplace else. People are still trying to practice them same old beliefs. I was told by a friend of mine, he went to Mississippi. He's a white guy. He went to Mississippi. Him and his partner went to Mississippi, and they stopped at a restaurant, and the waitress came and told him and his partner, you all need to leave because they don't accept your kind here, and they don't accept people of color in this town. They was going to Mississippi, and they said, get up and leave, and they left. I had another guy who's from Mississippi. He's black. He told me, Tracy, If you ever decide to go to Mississippi, he moved from Mississippi up to this part of my world. He said, if you ever decide to go to Mississippi, he said, do not go off the highway. He said, because they are still enslaving people in Mississippi. This was early 2000s when he told me this. He said, they are snatching people of color, taking their jewelry, their pocketbooks, their cars, the wallets, separating the husbands and wives, and the children, and they are enslaving them. They still have them working on slaves, farms there, working as slaves on their land. He said, but it's in the country where people don't go. He said, so all stay on the road where it's the highway. Don't get off and like take the scenic route. You know, so people are still practicing enslavement. I mean, it's true, you know? So remember what the holiday is for, how people fought. They're not here to enjoy this. They're not here to reap the fruit of their labors. They're not here. But don't take advantage of it like, you know, you have to fight. We were all born free, but we have to fight for it and to keep it because people will take it from you. Like you have to fight every day for just basic necessities. Some people have to fight for basic necessities. They can't even get water. They can't even get shampoo, you know, but you have to fight. You have to stand on business and stand on what you believe is what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm going to end that video here. I hope you all do enjoy the holiday. Just remember what it's about. Remember what it's about. Don't let the eggs and bacon cloud your memory and your judgment on really thinking about what it's about. That's what I was sitting here thinking about what today was about. Watching people going to the movies and pulling up. I'm thinking like, what is this really about? You know? Okay, so it's the holiday. We're going to go to the movies. You know, it's the holiday. We're going to go to the mall and catch a sale. You know? And granted, those things were not afforded to certain people when the fight and the struggle was going on. It wasn't afforded to certain people. But that's not all the holiday is about, is what I'm saying. That's not what it's all about. You know? People kill me when Christmas time come. Jesus is the reason for the season. But then the rest of the year, you want to fight people and rob them and call them out their name and tell them to go back to certain countries. And you know what I'm saying? But that day, Jesus is the reason for the season. You might as well go ahead and celebrate it and say it's Santa Claus because your heart is not really reciprocating what the day is for. Even though, don't say, well, that's not even Jesus' birthday and that's a pagan religion. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is people who believe that Christmas Day is Jesus' birthday, people who believe it, always scream, Jesus is the reason for the season, but they doing everything else up until December 25th and right after. That's what I'm saying. I don't care if you say it's a pagan holiday and it's not his birthday. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying people celebrate birthdays anyway on days that's not that person's birthday. They do it all the time. So I don't know why people even get mad about that. That's not even his birthday. Well, a lot of people celebrate their birthdays on days that's not their birthdays. My grandmother celebrated her birthday on February 14th, Valentine's Day. Well, guess what? Her birthday was February 13th. For years, we thought that until she passed away and we realized, okay, it's the 13th of February, it's not the 14th. So people celebrate birthdays on days that's not their birthdays all the time. But for some reason, when it comes to Christmas, there's a war. It's a war. It's a pagan holiday. And I don't care about all that. What I'm saying is, don't just look for that one day to be all, I'm standing for this. And then the day after, you going back to your devilment. That's what I'm saying. And the day before, you was deviling. But the day of, you all good and we're going to be all great because this is what it stands for. And then the next day, you go right back to your mess. That's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I am rambling. And I'm getting ready to get off this video. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And with that being said, I'm going to say vielen Dank. That's thank you very much in German. So vielen Dank for watching me. And choose, that's what? That's bye in German.